So let's wrap this bitch up and get
Speaking of
into
degenerates,
what was it?
speaking of degenerates,
Yes, speaking of degenerates, let's wrap up tonight with the movie review. And tonight's review is on Leaving Las Vegas. It stars Nicolas Cage and Elizabeth Shue in a non-Karate Kid related role.
yeah, I was like, when I saw that she was in this, like, man, I haven't heard that name in forever.
Right? Okay, just to give y'all a quick synopsis. Adapted from the novel by John O'Brien, this acclaimed drama follows alcoholic screenwriter Ben Sanderson as he drinks himself into oblivion in Las Vegas. When Ben meets the beautiful prostitute Sarah with an E, they strike up an unconventional relationship, one where she can't ask him to curb his drinking, and he can't fault her for her job. Though they offer each other support, Ben's self-destruction threatens to eclipse their bond.
Yep, that's the film.
That is the film. In a very succinct little synopsis, that is the film.
There, we saved you guys an hour and a half.
I think yeah, it was like almost 2 hours, So there you go. No. I was, the only reason why I picked this movie is because it just happened to come up for some reason. I don't remember exactly when or where, but I thought that there was gonna be, I thought there was gonna be a little bit more cinematic archaeology here, and there actually wasn't that much, except for like maybe like the kind of hackneyed trope of the troubled man, drinking himself to death.
If you're looking for, some Nicolas Cage acting.
Right. Well, that's like the only thing we agreed upon is that this is quintessential Nicolas Cage acting. And I mean, whenever you think of Nicolas Cage and his acting, just that's what you get in this movie.
And it makes me kind of wonder, like, how much of his drinking was actual drinking, which seems very Nick Cage-like.
Mm-hmm.
Because he tends to
do. So you were wondering if he was like being method.
Yeah.
Hard to tell.
Yeah, here's the thing: is like, we were talking before everything started, and of the movies that we've watched, we felt that Risky Business was really the only good film that we've seen this month. And it's kind of, there's really nothing redeeming about any of the characters in this film. Like there's no character growth. There's no there's really nothing of value. And you could say that it's very realistic. It's very true to life. Yeah, well, and that's definitely true, because there's a lot of people who never, they just kind of dive into their to their life choices, good or bad, and it's kind of this. I think it is kind of relatable to today, where it's all about like, just accept me for who I am. Don't expect me to, don't make me change. Don't, all this stuff, and it's like, that's not good. And while it is true to life, that doesn't necessarily make a good film.
Right. Kind of like every story, particularly about relationships. When two people meet, they tend to smooth out the rough edges, on the other person. But
which happens in Risky Business.
What was it?
Which happened in Risky Business, which is
yes,
as
right.
we were talking.
Which happened, because like we said for that review, Um, uh, Tom Cruise's character gives stability to Rebecca De Mornay's character, and Rebecca De Mornay's character gives Tom Cruise's character confidence, enough confidence to take risks or to be more bold
Right.
in his, and just like go for the gusto kind of attitude.
Right. And they
But
became
in
like a good team together.
Right, they brought a balance or equilibrium to each other. But this that doesn't happen in this movie. It's just it's just a slow climb to the bottom.
God, yeah. Oh, that's a great way to put it. Um, it was just, yeah, just watching the continued degradation of Ben
Mm-hmm.
was really, God, it was sad just because, I mean, you hear of like people like alcoholics and stuff, but this was like on a whole nother level because I mean
Right, yeah, like
he
the
couldn't function without alcohol. That was how bad his addiction was.
right the turn of phrase of like drinking like a drinks like a fish. It's like that is personified within the character of Ben. And it's like to the point where while he's sleeping and if he's not drinking, he gets the shakes.
Yeah,
And like he's like violently, and then when he wakes up, he's like violently shaking, and he's like crawling his way to the refrigerator to get more booze. And it's just like, my God, it's like, I mean, I was watching, I was like, my liver hurt just watching the
God,
character
yeah.
of Ben drink. And it broke, and it broke my heart to see the character of Sarah, uh, just desperately wanting Ben to love her, and kind of snap himself out of whatever this funk that he's in, that is driving him to drink himself to death. But it doesn't happen. And that's like,
And
and to me that was heartbreaking, as much as seeing Ben just like pounding down bottles of vodka for breakfast.
oh God, yeah. I mean, he wouldn't eat. He was just that was his breakfast was vodka,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever he could get his hands on. Here's the other thing that I think is really fucked up too, right? Is okay, you want to drink yourself to death. Got it. But you are why he makes this connection with Sarah to begin with, just so he can have someone see him drink himself into oblivion. Like that seems really like it's almost like yeah, it's a slow death for sure, but it's almost like paying. It's like here, I'm gonna pay you to watch me shoot myself in the head, and yeah. So I don't see how that like how this is any better, like how it's any less fucked up and selfish.
Right, and like you were saying, I wasn't fully, I wasn't fully hooked, or I didn't understand what the attraction was Sarah for Ben. I don't know. She like throughout the movie, she has like this kind of like confessional therapy session sort of thing where she's like talking about how she first met Ben, and their relationship, but it never like there was never like a like this is like that like spark of infatuation, as it were, where it's like this is why I like the
You,
guy.
you know what? Here's my theory on this and why she may have kind of had something for him. Yes, he paid her, right,
Mm,
initially,
yeah.
but it wasn't for sex.
Mm.
And I think that may have been the first guy in her entire life that had been the case.
Well, I mean, initially, the only reason why she was at the his motel is because he said that he wanted to like just to do her, and I don't know, for
He
some
said that, but
reason.
I don't think that
What was it?
he didn't want to do it. Yeah, he said that, but then
Oh,
when she
oh,
actually
so the
did get
design.
there,
Okay. So it's kind of
he
like
like it.
it was like misleading. It was misleading. The statement that of him saying like, "Oh, how much to sleep with you?" That was just mislead. So he can get her to the hotel room.
Yeah, it wasn't like, they were about to do it and it's like he couldn't get it up because of the booze. It was like he even like when she got there, it's like, no, I don't. Yeah, she started to like kind of get things. And it's like, no, no, I don't want that. I just need someone to I just want someone to be here with me.
Mm-hmm.
That was, and it was, and that was the first time probably in her entire life that, Sarah had somebody that didn't want to just sleep with her. And I think that may have been where the attraction started with them.
Okay. That's that tracks. That tracks. Okay. Um, but even after finding out that that he's only here to die, and um, that he only he basically wants a witness to his death. Um, I don't understand. Like I don't. I guess I don't understand like why she would agree to this.
Maybe I wonder if maybe too, like where that she and I'm probably giving more thought into the film than it deserves,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm wondering too if maybe she had the same kind of feelings that Ben did about himself. Because we're not really given too much insight into Sarah's background, because we know that Ben is he was now we don't know if it was because of alcoholism that his wife divorced him and all that, or
Mm-hmm.
if it was after his wife divorced him that he started drinking.
It was explicitly
Um,
was explicitly stated that they were divorced.
uh, it was highly implied. I think, but no, I think Ben did say that, like, um, it was, I think when he was being fired, or like, at the beginning when he was kind of getting money from his friend,
Mm-hmm.
um, where like that divorce was mentioned. Um, but we don't know like when the alcoholism started. So it is kind
I
of like a
thought
murky beginning
okay.
for,
I thought Jay like died and like he was the cause.
and maybe I misinterpreted that, but I
Maybe.
think it
I mean,
was a
yeah, I don't. I mean,
divorce.
I remember. I know what scene you're talking about, but I can't recall it in detail. Um,
But I think maybe
but
Sarah
I
in her
mean, there
own.
is a child involved. You know, we see the photograph of his former and or ex-wife, um, and their child, and then you also like when he's like packing his stuff up after he gets fired and decides to go to Las Vegas and drink himself to death. He comes to a room where there's a bicycle, a child's bicycle in it. Um, and maybe you're right. It is like a divorce thing, and he just like he lost custody, and so the wife just came in and just like took whatever she could carry, and like they had to like leave the bike, and maybe it was because of his alcoholism that she divorced him. But for some reason,
Yeah.
I thought it was more of a tragic thing where like he wasn't that much of a drinker, but then something happened where it could have been like a drunk driving thing where he was the of cause of their deaths.
See, but I see that would be much more. Um, I'd actually give a shit a lot more about Ben if I felt that was the case.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe it was a divorce. That's why I was
Mm-hmm.
like, it seemed like it was more selfishness than anything else out of him. And that's why like I don't care for him as a
Actually,
character.
yeah, because the whole burning of the picture is more of what's the word I'm looking for? It's more of a it's more of an angry emotion as opposed
Right.
to because like burning the picture means like you're done with that person, like you like don't wish for that person to exist anymore, as opposed to if it was from sorrow, it doesn't necessarily track. So you're probably right about the divorce.
And then so you have Ben who wants to like he just wants to slowly die,
Mm-hmm.
and I maybe Sarah in her own way, like through everything that she's been through, I think she probably wants the same thing for herself.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's like she finds that someone feels the same way that she does, and she's attracted to that as well.
Hmm. Perhaps. Perhaps. Yeah, this I don't know what it is about. There's like certain moments in history where like something like something like shifting culturally, and then it seems to
Hmm.
like happen like within these type of movies. I think and I think we've seen it, in Midnight Cowboy, in American Gigolo, and now here in Leaving Las Vegas. Um, but what they want to, what they're trying to convey or what they're trying to say isn't executed the best.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like with Joe
And
Buck, like there could have been like a really interesting story there, like given like like the flashbacks that he had, um, and then in American Gigolo, um, the character of Julian, there's obviously more there, um,
yeah, definitely.
but it was just
But
like
the
under
thing
the
is,
surface, but it just didn't go deep enough. And now with Leaving Las Vegas, I think they're obviously, I think they're trying to make some sort of cultural uh, statement, about some like this transitioning attitude that was happening in the country, but it just wasn't expressed, you know, uh, as eloquently as I think the filmmaker would have wanted.
right, and like I said, there's nothing redeeming. You know, I don't feel sorry for any of these characters. Like,
Right?
there's
Yeah.
nothing there that would be like, oh man, like I totally get what he's going through. Yeah, that's terrible. We're
Mhm.
given, there's nothing about Ben that makes me care about him. There's really nothing about Sarah that makes me care about her. Um, and just yeah, there's just I mean, maybe slightly, sort of like she, because she wants to help, like kind of like that she takes in Ben. Maybe like there's something redeeming there, and like you maybe feel bad when he brings in that other prostitute like into Sarah's house.
Right.
You maybe feel sorry for there, but no, I really don't. I didn't feel anything for any of these characters at any point in the film, other than just like I didn't feel contempt for them, but like I didn't feel sorry for them either.
Right. You just feel like there's nothing for them. Like, you don't necessarily want them to die, but you don't care if they live either. Or like
Yeah,
at
yeah,
least in the, at
right,
least at least in the case of Ben. Um, and then for Sarah, it's like you know sh you're not necessarily cheering on that she's a hooker, but you don't necessarily condemn her for it either.
right, and maybe because we're not given any background on the characters at all, that it's just like
Or whatever we're given was just not enough for us to emotionally attach.
right, and it's kind of the same thing with like Midnight Cowboy. It's like we're just not given enough information to give a crap about the characters.
Mm-hmm,
And the thing is, like, there's something there. That it's not like the character has like no depth.
mm-hmm,
We're given like little snippets of maybe potentially some stuff here,
mm-hmm.
but and we kind of get like little snippets in this film too with like this. we don't know what the divorce is about
Hmm.
with Ben and his ex-wife.
Hmm.
Uh, we kind of sort of get something a little bit with what Sarah went through with that
The
Slavic
pimp,
pimp that she
yeah.
was with.
Yeah, Julian
Um,
said like he has a really horrible East European accent.
yeah.
I
Um,
mean, it could just be because I know how he sounds, like with his normal kind of accent. But
yeah.
yeah, his Eastern European accent is just garbage.
Oh, it was terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean,
Um,
I generally like him as an actor, but in
yeah.
this movie, it was just like, nah, dog.
No, no, and it was not done well.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, but we're not given enough to actually give a crap about the characters once again.
Exactly. Hmm.
Um, yeah, and like I said, when you read the synopsis, like, yep, that's the film.
Yeah, that's the film.
there's really
That's the film.
there's there's really not much there.
Yeah, exactly. Just like I said, there's really much not there. Um, um, yeah, even when like even when Sarah was yeah kind of like feeling like exasperated with Ben's situation, like even that when she asked him to go see a doctor, it's just like that there's nothing I can. There's like I think she was feeling her most powerless because actually it's pretty interesting because at the beginning she when she has when we're introduced to Sarah, she's performing a service. The pimp, the pimp arranges it, and she does a performance um, for a client, and she's like talking about it's like, oh yeah, I'm the fucking best. I'm a performer. You know, as soon as I walk in the room, I know exactly what you want. Um, but with Ben, it's like I think she feels powerless because she can't get him out of like this funk that he's in.
Right. And
And I think that, and I
uh,
would dare say that that's probably like the most interesting, at least like story wise or conceptually, that's like about as interesting as it gets.
what do you think with because the final scene in the film, or like near the final scene, is when Ben is on his literally on his deathbed,
Mm-hmm.
and they end up they finally actually sleep together,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Let's just be
was one
real.
of the
It's the
most
saddest lay you ever saw.
it was one of the most fucked up scenes I've seen in a film ever. And the fact that it's just
It's the saddest lay
I
I've ever
God,
seen.
it, not not even the slightest bit like oh God, it was just unattractive at all. I don't know what that scene like meant at all. Like it was
Right.
just it was like a train wreck, dude. I was like I couldn't like turn away, but like it was there was oh
Yeah. I mean,
and like
it
he
would have
literally
been.
dies like
I think it would have been more meaningful if she ended the relationship the same way they started, just lying in bed and just her just talking to him because that's all he wanted. He just wanted someone to be there with him, and I think that would have been a better. And technically, that she is there for him at the end, but just kind of like having a symmetry. It would have been better if she just like kind of like got into bed with him and just like snuggled up to him close and just started talking to him about her day or whatever.
that would see that would have been I would have liked that ending a lot better.
I know. I mean, I would have I would have offered that ending, but I was only 10 years old at the time.
Yeah,
And I wasn't that adept at visual storytelling. So, but hindsight being
yeah.
2020 and everything.
But yeah, this I don't know if was there any other like scene or moment that stood out to you in this film?
Not really. Other than even though this was probably a progressive movie of its time, no way this exact movie in the way like how like all the scenes work go were presented would be made today.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, despite being as progressive or forward thinking as that this movie tries to be, like no way like this movie would be made today. Like this specific movie, how it all was came out and edited and yada yada yada.
yeah, yeah. It definitely. I don't think this would get made today.
All right. Well, let's give our ratings and let's put this one to bed.
All
I'm gonna
right, let's
start.
do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna give
Okay.
this movie. I'm gonna I'm gonna give this a one and a half.
God, man, you are generous. I had to go a half star on this one.
Half star.
This is this is worse than the when we did Mad
Mad
Max.
Max.
Yeah, this I would happily watch that film over this one any day of the week. This is I can't recommend this film. Oh, if you like characters with no depth, no
Yeah,
character growth, and
no
you like
resolution or no growth. And yeah, you'll like this movie.
you're gonna love it.
Yeah, you're gonna.
And the reason I give it a half star is just because yeah, I like Crazy Nick Cage. You know, it's
uh, yeah, yeah. I am being pretty generous with the one and a half. I don't know. Yeah, this movie was all over the place. Although it did have a very nice cameo by R. Lee Emery, the Gunny.
that's true. It did. So see, worthy of a half star. There we go.
There you go. There's the half star. I'm giving the half. Okay, my one and a half then is the half star for R. Lee Emery, and then a full star for Elizabeth Shue's ass.
That's I
It was a pretty
can't argue.
nice ass.
Yeah, she was pretty hot like
Yeah.
back in the day.
Hmm. Absolutely. Okay. Well, there you
And if you
go.
want
What was
and if you
that?
want to see her chest at some point, and if you want to see her chest at some point in the film, then there you go. This is the film for you.
There you go. There you go. It might be bumped up to a two, maybe, but more likely it's set 1.75.
Um,
But there you go. There you have it. Me. Okay. That's our review of Leaving Las Vegas. Robert gives it a half. I guess star. I don't know if we settled on uh, symbols, but okay, fine. Half a star for Robert. One and a half for me. Uh, yeah, I can't really recommend this movie unless you're a first year art student and you know you have to watch some old movie for one of your classes. Then yeah, go ahead. But other than that, can't really recommend this movie.